Hello friends, good morning. We will discuss about the income tax Act part 2. That is, we have started discuss some preambles. That is the what is the starting phase of the income tax, and what the schedules and sections are saying, and the starting the definitions also mentioned in the income tax Act 2025. And so that we will discuss each one one by one, so that you will get the full knowledge of what the sections and definitions are saying about each and every item contained in the income tax act 2025. So today our topic is annual value in relation to any property, means annual value as the determined under section 21. Appellate tribunal means the appellate tribunal constituted under section 360, meaning that each definition is also defined and mapped to a particular section, so that it could not be happen that you will not able to predict that late level. Approved gratuity fund means the gratuity fund which is approved and continues to be approved by the approving authority as per part B of schedule 1. So an approved superannuation fund means the superannuation fund or any part of the superannuation fund which is approved and continues to be approved by the approving authority as per the part B of the schedule 9. SSC means a person by whom any tax or any other sum of money is payable under this act, and includes every person in respect of whom any proceeding under this act has been taken for assessment of his income, or has loss sustained by him or refund due to him for assessment of income of any other person in respect of which he is assessable, or of the loss sustained by such other person or refund due to such other person. Every person who is deemed to be an SSC under this act. Every person who is deemed to be the SSC in default under this act. Acting officer means an assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, or the assistant director, deputy director of the income tax officer, who is invested with the relief in jurisdiction by virtue of directions or orders issued under section 24, subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3, or any other provision of this act. Additional commissioner, additional director, joint commissioner or joint director, who is directed under section 241 subsection 5 clause B to exercise or perform all or any other powers or functions conferred on or assigned to an assessing officer under this act. Assessment includes reassessment or recomputation. Assistant commissioner means a person appointed to be an assistant commissioner of income tax or a deputy commissioner of income tax under section 2037 subsection 1. Assistant director means a person appointed to an assistant director of income tax or a deputy director of income tax under section 237 subsection 1. Aggregate average rate of income tax means the rate arrived at by dividing the amount of income tax calculated on the total income by such total income. Block of assets means the group of assets falling within a class of assets comprising of tangible assets being a building, machinery, plant or furniture; intangible assets being the know-how, patent, copyright, trademark, licenses, franchise or any other business or commercial rights of similar nature, not being goodwill of the business or profession, in respect of which the same percentage of depreciation is prescribed. Board means the Central Board of Direct Taxes constituted under the Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. Books of account includes ledger, pay books, cash book, account book, and other books, whether kept in written form or in electronically or in a digital form, or the cloud-based storage, or any other electromagnetic data storage device such as floppy disk, tab, portable data storage device, external hard drives or memories card, or is a printout of data and data stored in the electronic or digital form, or an storage devices mentioned in sub clause B. Business includes any trade, commerce, manufacture, or any adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce, or manufacture. Business trust means a trust is registered as an infrastructure investment trust under the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Infrastructure Investment Trust Regulation 2014 made under the Securities and Exchange Board of India, India Act 1992. Real Estate Investment Trust under the Securities and Exchange Board of India, Real Estate Invest Trust Regulation 2014 made under the Securities and Exchange Board of India 1992. Capital asset means property of any kind held by the SC, whether or not connected by him with his business or profession. Any securities held by the institutional investors which has invested in such securities in accordance with the regulation made under the Securities and Exchange Board of India 1992, or an investment fund is specified in section 224 subsection 10 clause A, which has invested such securities in accordance with the provision of the regulation made under the Securities and Exchange Board of Regulation made under the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992, or under the International Financial Service Centers Authority Act 2019. Any unit linked insurance policies to which the exemption under Schedule 2 table serial number 2 does not apply, but does not include any stock in trade other than securities referred to in subclause B. Consumables stores, raw materials held for business or profession. Personal effects: agricultural land in India not being land situated in any area comprised within the jurisdiction of municipality, whether known as a municipality or municipal corporations, notified area committee, a town area committee or town committee, or by the name or cantonment board, and which has a population not less than 10,000. Column C of the following table measured serially from the local limits of any municipality or cantonment board referred to in item number A, and having population is referred to in column B of that said table. More than 10,000 up to 1 lakh 2 kilometers, more than 1 lakh up to 10 lakh 6 kilometer, and more than 10 lakh is within the 8 kilometers. The gold deposit bonds issued under the gold deposit scheme 1999, deposit certificates issued under the gold monetization scheme 2015 is notified by the central government. Foreign institutional investors shall have the meaning assigned to section 2210 subsection 6 clause A. Personal effect means any more property including wearing apparels and furniture held for personal use by the SC or any family member dependent on him, but excludes jewelry which includes ornament made of gold, silver, platinum, or any other precious metals, or in alloy of such precious metals with or without the precious or same precious stones, and whether or not worked or same into any wearing apparels. Precious or same precious stones, whether or not set in any furniture, utensils, or other article, or worked or sewn into any wearing apparels. Archaeological collections, or drawings, paintings, or sculptures, any work of art. Population shall mean the population according to the last preceding census, of which the relevant figure has been published before the first day of the tax year. Property includes any rights in or in relation to an Indian company, including rights of the management or control, or any other rights. Securities shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in section 2H of the Securities Contracts and Regulations 1956. Charitable purpose includes relief of the poor, education, yoga, medical relief, preservation of environments, including the watersheds, forest and wildlife, preservation of monuments or places or objects of artistic or historic interest, advancement of any other object of general public utility. Chief Commissioner means person appointed to the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, or Director General of Income Tax, or a Principal Chief Commissioner of the Income Tax, or Principal Director General of Income Tax under Section 237(1). Child in relation to individual includes a stepchild and adopted child of that individual. Commissioner means a person appointed to be the Commissioner of Income Tax, or the Director of Income Tax, or Principal Commissioner of Income Tax, or Principal Director of Income Tax 237 subsection 1. Commissioner Appeal means a person appointed to be the Commissioner of Income Tax appeal under section 237. Company means any Indian company or any body incorporated by or under the laws of the countries outside India. Any institutions, association, or body which is or was accessible or was assessed as a company under the Income Tax 1961, as it issued immediately before it repealed by this act hereinafter referred to the Income Tax 1961. Any institution or association or body, whether incorporated and or not, and whether Indian non-Indian, which is declared by the order of board to be the company for such period as is specified in such declaration. The company in which the public are substantially interested means a company owned by the government or Reserve Bank of India, or in which at least 40% of shares of the companies are held individually or collectively by the government or Reserve Bank of India, or a corporation owned by that bank. Company which is registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, companies having no share capital, if having regard to its objects, the nature and composition of its membership and other relevant consideration, the board by order declared it to be such a company for the period as is specified in the declaration, or mutual benefit finance company, that is to say a company which carries on its principal business, the business of the acceptance of deposits from its members, and which is declared by the central government under Section 406 of the Companies Act 2013 to be a Nidhi or mutual benefit society. A company wherein shares excluding those entitled to a fixed rate of dividend without the further right to participate in the profit, carrying not less than 50% of the voting power, have been unconditionally allotted to or acquired by, or where the beneficially held throughout the relevant taxpayer by one or more cooperative societies, or company which is not a private company as defined in Companies Act 2013, and either of the following condition is fulfilled. Shares in the company not being the shares entitled to a fixed rate of dividend without a further right to participate in the profit, whereas as on the last day of the relevant tax year listed in a recognized stock exchange in India as per the securities contracts regulation 1956, and any rules made thereunder. Shares in the company not being those entitled to a fixed rate of dividend without the further right to participate in the profit, carrying not less than 50% of the voting power, have been unconditionally allotted to or acquired by, and were beneficially held throughout the relevant taxpayer by the government, corporations established by the central act or state act or the prudential act. Any company to which this clause applies to, or any subsidiary of such company, if the entire share capital of such a subsidiary company has been held by the parent company or its prime nominee throughout the tax year. So, however, that in respect of the Indian company whose business consists mainly in the construction of ships, or in manufacture or processing of goods, or in mining, or in the generation or distribution of electricity, or in other form of power, the expression not less than 50% shall be read as if the expression not less than 40% had been substituted. Convertible foreign exchange means the foreign exchange which is treated by Reserve Bank of India as a convertible foreign exchange for the purpose of foreign exchange management act 1999, and any rules made thereunder, or any other corresponding laws. Cooperative banks shall have the same meaning as defined in say Part 4, Part 5 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Cooperative society means the cooperative society is registered under the Cooperative Society Act 1912, or under any other law in force in the state or union territory for the registration of the cooperative societies. Currency shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in Section 2H of the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1989. And demerged company means the company whose undertaking is transferred pursuant to the demerger to the resulting company, or demerger in relation to the company means the transfer pursuant to a scheme upon elimination under Section 232 to 2 of the Companies Act 2013 by demerged company of its one or more undertaking to any resulting company in such manner that all the property of the undertaking being transferred by the demerged company immediately before the demerger becomes the property of the resulting company by virtue of demerger. All the liabilities relatable to the undertaking being transferred by the demerged company immediately before the demerger becomes the liability of the resulting company by virtue of demerger. Property and the liability of the undertaking being transferred by the demerged company are transferred at the values appearing in its books of accounts immediately before the demerger, except in compliance to Indian accounting standards specified in annexes to the company's Indian Accounting Standards Rule 2015 made under the Companies Act 2013. Resulting company issues in consideration of the demerger its shares to shareholders of the demerged company on a proportionate basis, except where the resulting company itself is a shareholder of the demerged company. The shareholders not holding not less than 3/4 in the value of the shares in the demerged company other than the shares held by the held there immediately before the demerger or by a nominee for the resulting company or subsidiary become the shareholders of the resulting company or the company by virtue of demerger otherwise than as a result of acquisition of property or assets of the demerged company or undertaking thereof by the resulting company. The transfer of the undertaking is on ongoing concern basis and the demerger is as per the conditions, if any, notified under section 116 subsection 7 of the central government, where the undertaking shall include any part of the undertaking or a unit or a division of the undertaking or the business activity taken as a whole, but does not include a individual assets or liabilities or in combination thereof not constituting a business activity. Liability relatable to undertaking referred to in subclause B shall include liability which shall arise out of arise out of the activity or operation of the undertaking is specific loans or borrowings including debentures raised, incurred and unlisted unutilized solely for the activities or operation of the undertaking, and amount n being the amount of general or multipurpose borrowings of the undertaking as computed below in cases other than those referred to in item A or B. So this thank you for watching the video till end, and we will come back with a new video. So please like and subscribe my video and share this video to your family and friends. And this is not the last video, this is the second part of the Income Tax Act 2025, and we will continue to upload the same further parts of the Income Tax 2025, so that it could be beneficial for the viewers, and so that they can use this law for their income tax filing, income tax assessment, income tax scrutiny also. So if you require, you can make a detailed video on the same, so that it might be more useful for the viewers, and because this content has been made with the effort. So don't forget to like and share, subscribe to my channel, because this gives us motivation for making such further videos. Thank you in this video.